Building a new home sounds so exciting, but for some people, it can also feel overwhelming. Where do you even start? How do construction loans work? What happens between choosing the building plans and actually moving into your home? How long does a new home construction process really take? In this video, I'm breaking down the 5 stages of building a new home so you can clearly understand the home building process step by step. From the early planning phases all the way through construction and finally owning your home. And stick around because there are a few parts in each stage of the process that tend to surprise buyers. Hi, I'm Heather Williams and I'm a realtor in the Nashville area, and I also work for a new home builder, Drees Homes. We've been in business for almost 100 years, and I help buyers navigate the new home construction process and help them build on their own lot, whether that's in a custom community or on a few acres somewhere. If you're thinking about building a house or buying new construction, make sure to subscribe because I share videos every week about the home building process, new construction homes, and Nashville real estate. The process of building a new home really breaks down into 5 main stages: plan, finance, design, build, and finally own. Now let's start with the first stage, and honestly, one of the most important. Stage 1, plan. This is the stage where you start turning the idea of building your dream home into an actual plan. The planning process itself is broken down into a few steps. First, you'll want to find the right floor plan. You'll typically work with a market manager like myself, who is also a licensed realtor working specifically for the builder, to help you choose the home design that best fits your needs, your style, and your budget. At Drees Homes, we offer a wide range of award-winning floor plans ranging from just under 2,000 square feet to well over 5,500 square feet, sometimes even larger once customization is involved. If you're planning to build on your own lot, part of the planning stage includes a free site analysis. This is where we come out and evaluate the property to understand things like utilities, whether the property is on septic or sewer, how many trees may need to be cleared, and whether the lot is flat or sloped. We're also evaluating whether the home may require things like a basement or a taller crawl space. All of these details help us determine what are called site costs, which is essentially what it takes to prepare the property for construction. Once we understand both the lot and the home that you want to build, we can provide firm contract pricing. At this point, most buyers want to understand how the total price of building a home actually comes together. There are typically 5 to 6 components that make up that overall cost when building a new home. First, the land itself, if you're building on your own lot. Second are the site costs, which include preparing the property, like I mentioned before, getting it ready for construction, including things like clearing trees, grading the lot, installing utilities, septic systems if needed, and driveway access. Third is the base price of the home, which is the starting price of the floor plan you've selected. Fourth are structural upgrades. These are changes to the structure of the home itself, such as adding extra rooms, extending a covered outdoor living space, ceiling details such as cedar beams or coffered ceilings, or adding a carriage garage. And finally, there are design center upgrades, which include interior selections like cabinets, flooring, countertops, lighting, and other finishes. Understanding those 5 pieces really help buyers see the full picture of what goes into the cost of building a new home. That includes pricing the base home along with any structural options you may want to add. We provide upfront option pricing so buyers can clearly see what different upgrades cost and decide what works best for their lifestyle and budget. Drees is also considered a semi-custom builder, which means many custom design requests can be approved. In some cases, those requests go through our architecture department first, just to confirm feasibility, but once approved, we can price those options so buyers know exactly what to expect. Examples of custom items may be 4 to 5 car garage, an in-law suite on the side of the house, raising ceiling heights, expanding a room a few feet, creating a working pantry or a huge laundry room on a plan that doesn't already have one, and so much more. Another important part of the planning stage is preparing buyers for the design center process, which comes later. But based on the floor plan you select, we can usually give a general range of what buyers tend to spend on design selections. And because builders have strong vendor relationships and brand partnerships, we're often able to negotiate better purchasing power on materials, which helps keep costs competitive. Once the planning stage is complete, the next step determines something even more important: whether the numbers actually work. Stage 2, finance. Financing a new home construction project is a little different than buying an existing home. On an existing home, you're typically putting down an earnest money deposit, which can be a small percentage of the price of the home, and I've seen anywhere from about 1 to 5%. Typically, when buying a new construction home, you could be putting down 10% on a home. When you go to build a home, you have to be able to finance construction cost, and I'm going to break down the different ways that can be done. Many buyers use construction loans, which allow the home to be built first and then convert into a traditional mortgage once construction is complete. For us as a builder, we only require 10% down on a construction loan contract. However, most construction loan lenders will want 20% down, which means beyond the 10% down deposit you've paid to the builder, you will need an additional 10% for the lender. However, there are a select few mortgage companies that can do construction loans for less than 20% down. And I do know of one in the Nashville area that can do 10% down, for example. With a construction loan, beyond the down payment, what's going to happen during the build time is that there's going to be 5 stages of construction where construction draw or payment is due. For us, there would be a payment due once the foundation is complete, once the framing is complete, once electrical or all mechanical items are installed, once the countertops are installed, and then of course upon final completion. The construction loan lender will make payments on the buyer's behalf, and then in return the buyer will make an interest payment to the construction loan lender based on the amount that they've paid so far. So with each payment that the construction loan lender makes on the behalf of the buyer, the interest amount will increase for the buyer just because of each time more and more has been paid. By the time the home is complete, the builder is paid in full by the construction loan lender, and the buyer will close on the home, and what they haven't paid so far will just convert to a regular mortgage. However, when building on your own lot with Drees Homes, we also offer another option which is very unique called our Lot Equity Program. This option can be especially helpful for buyers who already own their own land. Instead of needing a large down payment, they may be able to use the equity in their lot towards the construction of the home. With this process, a temporary deed assignment happens shortly before construction begins. This allows us as the builder to build on the property, and once the home is finished, then the buyer closes on the loan and the property is transferred right back to the buyer, just like a traditional purchase. One advantage of this program is that buyers may only need around a 1% deposit, and there are typically no payments required during construction, which is very different from many traditional construction loans. If a buyer doesn't already own the land, we can often help them acquire the lot as part of the process. For buyers who prefer a traditional route, we also have our own in-house lender who specializes in new construction financing, and they're called First Equity Mortgage. They help buyers understand their buying power and explore financing options and guide them through the entire loan process. Lastly, there's one other way to pay for a new home. If you happen to be blessed enough where you can pay cash for the property, that is going to work with us as a 10% down payment with the contract, and then also with a payment period similar to the construction loan process, where we break that down into 5 payments. Just obviously no interest and no loan. By the end, the home is paid in full for us and the buyer is ready to close on the home. To get started as a cash buyer, we just need a proof of funds letter from your financial institution, or if you're financing, we'll need a pre-approval letter from our lender. But once we have all the financing pre-approvals in place, it's time to move on to the next and most exciting step. Stage 3, design. This is where the home really begins to feel personal. Buyers meet with design consultants at our design center to choose the finishes that will go into their home. Our design center is a one-stop shop, which makes the process easier compared to working with most custom builders, where you may need to visit multiple vendors across town. Instead of trying to remember where you saw certain materials or what certain things cost, or how to even put it all together. Everything is conveniently located in one place. You'll select things like cabinets, countertops, flooring, tile backsplashes, lighting, mirrors, and other finishing details when you're at our design center. This is the stage where many buyers start to realize just how many decisions go into home building. There are big decisions like flooring, cabinets, and countertops, which are a little more obvious, but there are also smaller details that sometimes people don't expect, like choosing the profile of a countertop edging, choosing different hardware, choosing different tile patterns. For some people, that can feel a little overwhelming at first because there are so many beautiful options to choose from. And having that guidance and expertise from your design consultant will definitely help keep you on track with all the decision making. But it's also a really exciting stage because this is where the home truly starts reflecting your personal style, and no two homes are exactly alike. Throughout the process, design consultants will guide our buyers through the whole way. They'll show them examples, show them pictures. They have samples there at the design center, and they'll help guide them. And then it comes down to sometimes they're helping you recommend things like maybe this suggestion will save you money. Maybe this is something really nice and a cool feature. Maybe this is something completely unique that we just got in. Their goal isn't to sell you something. Their job is simply to create a home that fits your style, your needs, and your budget. Once those design decisions are finalized, the project moves into the longest stage of the entire process. Stage 4, build. The build stage is often the most exciting part of the process. During the design stage, you selected all the beautiful finishes and details, and now in the build stage, you finally get to watch your home come to life. Watching a home being built from the ground up is just so exciting. To literally watch it come from dirt to a dream home is such an incredible experience. Another common question buyers typically ask me is how long the new home construction process typically takes. Well, from contract to closing, most homes typically take about 9 to 12 months. I would say 10 to 12 months is more the sweet spot, but some homes can move a little faster, sometimes closer to 9 months, while others take a little longer, depending on the size of the home, the land, and the permitting process. If you're building a new home with a basement, that typically adds about another 2 months to that build timeline for the extra engineering and pouring concrete walls. The first part of that timeline actually happens before construction even begins. During the first couple months after contract, buyers are completing their design center selections, choosing those finishes, and finalizing any home technology options. At the same time, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. The builder is working on things like permitting, getting site-specific plans ordered, engineering work, septic design if the property requires it. During this stage, buyers are also working with their lender to form a simple pre-approval toward the loan commitment, which usually involves submitting documents like W-2s, tax returns, and other financial information. If the property is on sewer, construction can sometimes begin within about 60 days. But if the property requires septic, which a lot do, the permitting process can take a little longer depending on the county and the type of septic system required. Because of those variables, the exact timing for breaking ground can vary depending on the property and the municipality involved. Once construction actually begins, the physical process of building the home usually takes several months, depending on the size and complexity of the home. Construction begins with a pre-construction meeting where buyers meet the builder or superintendent who will be overseeing their home project. From that point forward, communication becomes very important. Buyers typically receive weekly updates, usually through phone calls, occasionally through email or text, depending on their preference. These updates keep you informed about what's happening with your home and what's coming next in the construction timeline. There are also a couple important on-site meetings during construction. One of the most important happens before drywall gets installed. At this stage, all of the electrical, plumbing, and mechanical systems are in place, and buyers have the opportunity to walk through the home and confirm everything matches the plans. The walkthrough is important because once drywall goes up, it becomes much harder to make any changes. After the drywall comes, all the fun and pretty stuff you hand-selected at our design center starts to appear. Throughout the build stage, there are also multiple quality checks and inspections to make sure the home meets building standards and everything is installed correctly. Once construction is complete, there's one final stage before you truly settle in. Stage 5, own. Before closing, buyers usually attend a new home presentation where they learn how the systems in the new home work. Most construction homes also include a home warranty. With Dries Homes, buyers receive a 1-year product warranty, which covers many of the materials and workmanship items in the home. There is also a 10-year structural warranty, which covers the structural integrity of the home itself. One nice benefit is that the structural warranty is transferable. So if the homeowner sells the property before the 10 years is up, the remaining coverage can transfer to its new buyer. This provides an extra layer of protection and peace of mind. This stage also includes learning about home maintenance so homeowners understand how to take care of their home long term. And finally, the best part of the entire process, moving into your brand new home. Once the home is complete and finished, you will receive the keys and officially move in. And that's the most exciting and satisfying moment of the entire process. If you're thinking about building a new home on your own lot in the Nashville area, whether you're building in a custom community or on acreage somewhere, I'd love to help guide you through the process. And if you're watching this because you're considering building, let me know in the comments, what stage of the process are you currently in? And where are you moving from? And don't forget to subscribe if you want more videos about home building process, new construction homes, and Nashville real estate. In the meantime, thanks for watching.